obviously Dillian was on the card. He's been exonerated by UKAD. Spencer and I are going to talk about that in a minute because I've spoken to UKAD during the week as well. You know, it's great that he's back. Big Dill as he was. He was, whatever he was, 280 odd pounds. He was a big Dill. You must be delighted for him. And what do you do with Dillian? Do you use him to leverage against the WBC now that he's back, mandated by them as the next challenger?
Well, firstly, I'm so pleased for Dillian because he went through a horrific time. I mean, we'll talk about the downs of Anthony Joshua. I mean, the downs of Dillian Whyte, you know, when he was already cleared by UKAD and still presumed guilty by the general public. And now, you know, it's great to see people, you know, having to eat their words and actually give Dillian the respect that he deserves now that he's completely cleared by UKAD. He is mandatory. The only frustrating thing for me is that, you know, that Dillian Whyte was supposed to be and was written in stone to be the mandatory of the Wilder Fury winner. And when this issue arose, the WBC suspended him. Nobody else suspended him. You know, UKAD didn't suspend him. His own commission, the British Boxing Board of Control, didn't suspend him. But the WBC did, and they delayed the mandatory till 2021. Now, the ruling has taken place. He is completely innocent. The WBC should be installing him as mandatory to the winner of Wilder Fury, and we'll be writing to them to do so. It just seems that, you know, it's a protection of the champion in Deontay Wilder. You know, no one seems to want to fight Dillian Whyte from that side. And when he does become mandatory, my worry is that the WBC will just make Deontay Wilder franchise champion. And Dillian Whyte will never get a shot. I don't know what.
It's not right. It's not right. That is not right.
It's a disgrace.
You know, look at Pulev, right? I mean, how has he become mandatory? Look at the people Dillian Whyte's boxed and beaten. You know, from Chisora twice in Wolves to Joseph Parker to Oscar Rivas. You know, he's been through all of them. Who has Pulev beat to become mandatory? And to be honest, even though we represent him, who has Alexander Usyk beaten? I mean, that's just the rules stating that the undisputed or the super champion at cruiserweight moves up and becomes automatic mandatory. We know that, but he has only beaten Chaz Witherspoon at heavyweight. You've got Dillian Whyte's been through all these guys. He's been at number one for, blimey, I don't know, nearly 2 years. You know, and I don't see why he's not getting the shot that he deserves. And it's really frustrating. And it'll be even more frustrating if he gets his shot and they make someone a franchise champion, because he doesn't want to be gifted a world title shot. You know, Dillian, one of those fighters that hasn't come up through ABA championships and GB podium squads and Olympic games. He went out, he was paying himself to get on small hall shows. His rise to the number one spot of the heavyweight division has been sensational. And I don't see why he can't get what he deserves. You know, and he's had to go through hell these last few months. And he's still not getting the respect he deserves. So we'll be writing to the WBC. If he has to wait till 2021, so be it. But I don't see why. You know, and I really hope that, you know, he's given the respect, like I said, that he deserves. And he finally gets a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship in 2020. Not 2021, because it shouldn't go on any longer.
Eddie, thank you very much for joining us tonight and breaking away from the family. I know it's a little bit of time off, but can Spencer and I also thank you for all the support you've given the entire industry of boxing this year on a phenomenal year for you personally and Matchroom Sport, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you all this year.
Thanks, I appreciate that, guys, and let's have a massive 2021, eh?
Yeah,
cheers,
please,
mate.
God, thanks.
Thanks so much, Eddie.
So we just heard there from Eddie HEARN Etherin to WBC. This right here was a Talk Sport interview. Their title says the following: Eddie Hearn slams WBC for treatment of Dillian Whyte and questions whether mandatory title shot at Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury will ever happen. Now, I'm not going to read out what he said. You all heard it. In summary, I'm just disappointed, man. It's interesting because initially we started, what was it, a week ago after after the December 7th happened, and obviously Dillian Whyte went life and death with Marius Wack, etc., etc. Eddie Hearn came out on an interview and he said, listen, all you people who said stuff, you're going to be in trouble. We're coming for you. And then he went on to say, listen, I think Coogan asked him, what's happening with the WBC situation? And Eddie Hearn said, listen, they best do the right thing. I know Maurizio Sullivan will do the right thing, and if they don't, there's going to be problems kind of thing. And at that point, I made a video saying, listen, that there is the right line. That there's the right line. If they don't fall into line, Eddie even mentioned himself. He said that, listen, I can't remember who it was, but Eddie, WBC, Maurizio Sulaiman, they've been bankrupted by someone before. Eddie Hearn talked about it in another interview. He said that, listen, I know Maurizio will do the right thing because he did the wrong thing before and ended up being sued. So, with that in mind, Eddie Hearn's now he'd gone from that a week ago when after December 7th, he was smoking. I was saying, listen, that's what needs to happen. I just don't get this. I don't get why Dillian Whyte and Eddie Hearn are so neutral. They seem to just sit there and wait. I'm pretty sure it was WBC. Look at Lennox Lewis. Mike Tyson didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis. What happened then? Lennox Lewis took him to court and it happened. See what I mean? So my point is, and that wasn't the only one, to be fair. There was another example. There was a more explosive example actually than that one. There was another example of WBC playing games and someone took them to court and won a load of money out of them as well. So my point is, I'm not asking Eddie Hearn to set a precedent here. It's been done before, and very successfully so. So I'm thinking to myself, and I've asked the question, I've said, listen mate, I don't know anything. I'm somewhat of a casual, meaning that I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you should sue on the basis of nothing. I'm saying you should sue on the basis that other people have done it and been successful. Now, like I said, I don't know the ins and outs, meaning that I don't know whether Lennox Lewis has done different things, which meant he was in a more stronger position. But from where I'm sitting, from my casual seat, I can't see why Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte are just sitting back. And now Eddie Hearn's gone from a week ago being very smoky, saying, listen, Maurizio Sulaiman best do the right thing, otherwise there's going to be problems, to now saying, please Maurizio, make it 2020, otherwise I guess we'll just wait till 2021. What do you mean you guess you'll just wait? What's going on here? Why is everyone so why is there no suing going on? Not that I'm someone who wants to see suing going on, but I'm talking about getting results. You've been waiting for handouts for 4 years now. Why you just keep waiting for? Maybe they're being tight. Oh, let's save 100 grand and we'll just sit here. If that's the case, if you're being tight, then I ain't got no sympathy for you. I haven't got any sympathy for you. Spend some money, man. Gee, you know what? I'll save 100 grand and just sit, or even 200 grand. I'll save 200 grand and sit here for 5 years. Because the bottom line is, you can make multiples back on the 200 grand. However much you spend, you'll make multiples back when you fight Wilder. In the actual fight and afterwards. Imagine if, as an example, let's say you spend another 2 years waiting now. You could have fought Wilder 2 years ago and had 4 years of being a champion. Meaning that when you're a champion, you get the extra pay-per-views, extra ticket sales, extra clout, etc, etc. So there's an opportunity cost here of not getting it on ASAP. And also, you've got to think of it like this. Let's think about a worst case scenario. Let's say Dillian Whyte lost. He's 32 now. He could have fought Wilder 2 years ago. My point is, it's much better to have a loss earlier in your career because it gives you more time to build back and come again. Before we know it, Dillian Whyte's going to be 35, and then, you know what I mean? If you get a loss at 35, it's a lot different to a loss at 31. But these guys seem, I don't know why I'm getting riled up about it before, because these men seem happy to sit there and wait. If they're going to sit there and with their hands open and wait, then that's what they want to do. Don't really make a difference to me, but I just don't understand it. Why is people avoiding taking it to court? Now, once again, maybe they're not in the same position that Lennox Lewis was in, but the way they're talking they are, and I'd love someone, it's a shame these reporters, what's Coogan doing? Like, how has no one asked this question yet? Eddie Hearn, a week ago you said there's possibly going to be action if the WBC play games. Now you're saying you're happy to sit and wait. Why? What's stopping you? I'd love to know that. Or instead, Coogan goes on there, Coogie Bear. No, Coogie Bear. Ask some damn questions. People need to know. Why is Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte not taking it the legal route when there's been a precedent set which has been successful? That's the first thing I want to know. I just don't get it. Everyone's sitting around waiting for it to come to them. The only way these individuals learn, look at Al Heyman. I talked about this a little while ago. Look at Al Heyman. Al Heyman gave it a big one. What happened then? You dropped a case on his desk with Andy Ruiz, and all of a sudden they fell straight into line. Yeah? Andy Ruiz and Al Heyman were giving it a big one. Gonna need $50 million. He was saying all that goofy stuff on the plane. It's gonna be on my terms. It's gonna be in USA. going to be in Mexico, saying all them funny things. Next thing you know, the indictment drops, and Andy Ruiz, his back gets straightened up. Oh, I've always wanted to fight in Saudi. Saudi's my favourite place. Oh, I want to fight here again. See what I mean? Do you see what the indictment did? The indictment dropped, and it's changed up their behaviour. These individuals, they only learn by pounds and pence, essentially. Whilst you're letting them get away with it, WBC are getting away with it. Wilder's getting away with it. Al Heyman's getting away with it. You're not hitting them in the pocket. You have to hit them in the pocket for them to understand. They're not nice people. And what I don't understand is, at the moment, Eddie Hearn and Dillian White just seem to be hoping for a miracle. Oh, please WBC do the right thing. Oh, it'd be lovely if they did the right. I just don't get it. Switch up on them. Spend some bread and switch up on them. Now, I might be wrong, and that's why I'd love for one of these so-called journalists to do their damn job. I'd love to understand the complexities, because I'm not a pro. I'm not a man who knows everything. Meaning that I know most things, but I'm saying that it might be the case that we can't do that because there's an obvious reason that we will lose. If that's the case, then yeah, you're just gonna have to sit there with your hands open begging, and that probably, to be honest with you, that probably is what it is. But I want to know that. I want to know for sure what's going on. I just don't. Something to add up to me. If it's really an injustice, why hasn't it been taken to court? If you're really being done wrong, there should be a court case. Simple as that. And in this day and age, and Eddie Hearn knows he's better than anyone, I'd have thought. Being to be fair, his name ain't Frank Warren. Frank Warren knows a lot about being in court, but still, sometimes the only way you get things done, just like the Andy Ruiz situation, sometimes it's the way it goes. It's the only way these people learn. It's by getting down, taking it to court, where they know they ain't no way to skittle out. Because at the moment, this whole trying to be nicey and trying to leverage relationships ain't working. We've tried that now for 2.5 years and it hasn't worked. What are you going to do? Sit here for another 2.5 years begging? It's not working. The whole begging business, the whole being nice business is not working. So I'd love for anyone out there, not that you watch my videos, but if anyone out there who does interviews, ask him the question. Drop the indictment. Simple as that.